Okay, so I wasn't sure what my next video was going to be, and after a wee bit of deliberation, people are interested in, I guess, my life or my history or what makes me me. I don't quite understand that because I don't have those same interests, or I'm not inquisitive in that way. If someone wants to share with me, I consider that a privilege that they have shared that with me, but I'm not inquisitive. Like, I don't wonder what makes people tick. I just meet them where they're at. So I tend to see life through that lens, and probably been a bit surprising to me, especially over the last 10, 15, 20 years, that people are interested in uh, why and who I am. And, I don't know. I'm just me moving through my life. So anyway, I thought I would do uh, the beginning. Scotland to America. For anyone that knows me even a wee bit, you can. I'm no American. I'm from Scotland. I was born in Scotland. I am a card carrying alien. I'm no an American citizen. I never became one. Can't vote. Who cares? Anyway, um, moved here to America from Kilburnie, Ayrshire, Scotland. Family of seven in September 1968. We came in an airplane called the Flying Dutchman. I was 5.5 years old. My most cemented memory from that plane ride was that I got my own plate of food, my tray of food all to myself, no having to share, and a whole fucking chocolate bar. It was a Hershey bar, which I, I, I wouldn't bend down and pick up off a sidewalk. But at that time, as a 5.5 year old child that never got to really have anything to herself, that was a big deal. And that's what I remember. I got my own Hershey bar all to myself. Didn't have to share it. Um, my dad worked 4 jobs to put together enough money. My dad, very talented man, musician, pianist, baker, um, degreed, degrees in food biology. My dad was a master baker. His joke there would be, that's Master Baker, no Master Baker. And that was my dad's joke. Yes, we're Scottish. Offensive through and through. If I offend you, don't give a fuck. What offend? It's not like anybody got cancer. Um, but I'm so offended. Anyway, my dad worked 4 jobs to put enough money together to bring us over here to America. Um, he had a sister, Margaret Roddy, who lived in Rockford, Illinois. Her husband, Frank Roddy, who was a Johnston boy. Actually, my Uncle Frank just passed away 6 days ago at the ripe old age of 92. Uncle Frank was an upstanding Scot, was the chairman of many Scottish events, Burns Supper and such, in Rockford, Illinois. He was an avid lawn bowler, good man. My Aunt Margaret, my dad's sister, is still alive, and I've got 2 cousins, Pammy and Angie. Um, anyway, my dad came over 4 months before we did, and my Aunt Margaret and Uncle Frank helped him get established, got him a job so he could kind of get things settled before everybody else came over. My mom came over with the 5 of us on her own because my dad was already here. So she wrangled all five of us, we were well-behaved kids, because if we weren't, we felt the wrath of mom. So we moved to Rockford, Illinois. It's about 60 miles northwest of Chicago. My dad also had an aunt in Cleveland, Ohio. Thank God we didn't go there. But so I grew up in Rockford. And Rockford. I can't complain, but the Midwest it's not my jam. It was always very different and always ostracized. My mom used to call me her colorful child. Anyway, so we left Scotland, came to America. My dad wanted something better for his children, and without going into too much history about Scotland in the 60s, the Scots did not have the same rights that the Brits, aka English, had. There were very few Scots that got any higher education. You left at 16 and went into the workforce, the labor force. Most Scots did not own property or businesses. Some did, but most did not. If you were born working class, you were pretty much relegated to accepting you were going to be working class. So my dad wanted something better, so brought us all, family of 7, to America. And my dad was as I said, a degreed European baker with degrees in food biology, smart man, and a great carpenter and a welder. So good at quite a few things, and a pianist, self-taught musician. Ragtime, honky-tonk, swing, mostly, not classical. Just a bit about my history growing up in a Scottish family. Just Whole Foods. We had Whole Foods. A lot of times just soup. Soup was our meal. Soup, that was it. We were not allowed to eat in between meals. There were no snacks. When I got home from school, you didn't grab an apple or you didn't grab anything. Any food my mom had in the refrigerator was food that was designated for meals for a family of 7. So we didn't get to just come home from school and go eat grapes. That beaten within an inch of your fucking life. So I got used to being hungry a lot as a child, and I think that that's part and parcel of why I'm able to accomplish some of the things I do in fitness. Like, that's why I can fast, that's why I can diet, because I learned to live without food as a child. I was hungry a lot, and I learned that I didn't die. But did you die? So I was a strange kid. I had pet mice. I spent a lot of time alone by myself in my room with my music and my mice. And then when I got into ballet, when I was 10, my dad put up a whole wall of mirrors in my bedroom with a ballet bar. And then I spent even more time in my room by myself. I had one best friend when I came to America, and her name was Kelly. Kelly Ackman. They lived across the alley from us. And we were friends all the way up until probably junior high, close to high school. And we got into we got into, look at me, I'm not even going to do that to Kelly. The Brandons, the Scottish family, we tended to get other people into trouble. Oh, probably got Kelly into a lot of trouble. But when I was 9, life changed. I'm the baby of 5. There's me, then my sister Anna Louise, who's 2 years older than me. Then there was Russell, who's no longer living, and he was 2 years older. And then my brother John, who is about 2 years older, and my oldest brother Steve, the firstborn. And when I was 9 years old, my sister, who was 11, was raped by our neighbor who was 18. And we didn't know about it, and she didn't tell anybody until over a year later. Statute of limitations had run out. But that year after she was raped was just chaos, and our whole family kind of fell apart. And life just changed. Everything was different. I had to become a very self-sufficient individual, which probably lends to like this shirt in general. Like I always felt like there was nobody there for me. And these are part of the traumas in life, I suppose, that have shaped who I am. When people wonder how I'm the way or why I'm the way I am, the way I dress, the car I drive, how I express myself, everything, being strong. Obviously, all that comes from somewhere. And so, yeah, I did not have a bad childhood, but had a fairly traumatic one with a lot of major changes from country to country to, that happened to my sister. My family kind of dissolved. By the time I was 14, my parents were getting divorced, and I was the only one left at home. And physically, actually watched my mother beg my dad not to go, and he drug her by the ankle as he walked to the door. Just different things. They shape us in life. So when people look at me and say, "Oh, you're so disciplined, you're so this, you're so that," I've been through some shit, and that was just the tip of the iceberg. But I don't think I face anything now that even comes close to what I've come through. From a torn bicep that just ripped off the muscle, and I was like, "Oh well, there's that." And I have 1.5 biceps now. To almost 20 years ago, one of my glute muscles snapping right off the bone during a ballet performance, and I still finished the performance. These physical things, and people are like, "Oh my God." I say, "Yeah, it's pain." Just compared to, I suppose, some of the emotional things I feel I've been through, all of these are part and parcel of why I am the way I am, down to silly shirts that, not like I need to make that fucking statement. But just, I've had a very different life. I haven't had a life like other people. My parents got divorced when I was between 14 and 15, and I was married by 16. That both parents had to sign a permission for because I was a minor. And I had a double wedding with my dad and my stepmom. All 4 of us stood there next to each other in the courthouse and got married together. I left school on February 1st, Friday. Mary Brandon. Had plans for the weekend, whatever. On Monday, February 4th, 1980, I went down to the courthouse with Dennis Hansen and met my dad and his then-to-be new wife at the courthouse, and we had a double wedding on February 4th, 1980, and I was 16. So I went in as a Mary Brandon, left school on Friday as Mary Brandon, went back to school the next day, February 5th, Tuesday, Mary Hansen. Like married as a junior in high school. So like I've had such a different life. When people don't quite know what to make of me or how to encounter me, and they think that I'm all these goofy, weird things. The new one is I'm a satanic lesbian. I will have merch. Anyone wants a shirt? We're designing it. It's just the weird things that people have thought about me. It's just because we all have vastly different experiences, and the experiences I've had in my life or lives are very different than most people. This is a longer video than I wanted it to be, and I really wanted this to be one of the shorter ones. So I got married at 16, had a double wedding with my dad. I got saved at 19. I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. I was a born-again Christian for 20 years. It's like there's so many fucking directions that I could go in that people would probably be like, what? I could just throw in there that I was a cheerleader my senior year too, and I'm a classically trained violinist. But there's just so many different things when people just look at me and make a judgment call or an assessment, and she's a weirdo, or she's a this, or she's a that. I've literally lived so many freaking lives just in this one Mary Brandon fucking body. Sometimes it makes my head spin. So, this video is much longer than I want it to be. I'm going to end it here really quickly, just by saying that I might make 1 or 2 more videos on specific subjects, and then I'm going to have to go live because I really want the feedback, the questions and answers, and if I'm going to do 1 or 2 more videos, so that will be 3 or 4 videos under my belt, and then I think I will ask people what they want to go back to and, get more into detail with. So, some people are just plain interested in me personally. Some people are interested in what I do and why, as far as nutrition, and then aka fitness and all those things. So I'm more than happy within the next couple weeks to schedule, like just say I'll announce, gonna do it live this Friday or this Sunday or whatever it would be for an hour, and field questions and answers to go into more detail about some things people might want to know. But for now, I'm going to shut this down because it's, past 7 minutes over. I really don't like to go past 10 minutes. So there's some few details about me, where I came from, a bit probably better understanding why I'm the way I am, and then again, maybe not. But 1 or 2 more videos, and then I'll start doing live so I can have interaction, because I don't like talking to myself in a camera. I'd rather talk to people. But thank you all who are interested and who support, and those of you, if you're not interested, don't worry about it. Ain't no thing. Everyone have a great weekend. Create.